All right, so let's work on the admin table, right? So the user administration, what a system administrator could do. So we said that the system administrator should be able to manipulate or do CRUD operations on users, right? Create, read, update, delete users. So let's start on that. Let's create a brand new page here. Where's my registration page? Where am I in the right place? Did I not merge master? Okay, I probably didn't merge the registration into master just yet. All right, I'll do that later. So let's create the user admin file. So this will be user-admin. So user-admin, right? That is my feature. So template dot client.html. Notice that not just a template will be used here for the user admin. We'll also need a style sheet for this, and we also need a JavaScript file for this one, right? So there'll be later on, instead of .template, there'll be a .controller, there'll be a .style, there'll be a .whatever, right? That are participating to implement the user admin feature. All right, so let's here we'll call this user admin, and we'll create a table. And the table, oops, we had a T head. So that's the tables have three pieces: the table head, the table body, and then the table footer. Right. So the table head is where you would put all your header information, and you have a T body. I very seldomly use the T foot, but this is where it would go: T foot. If you had something there. Sure. So in the T head. We're going to create a table row. We're going to have multiple columns. In this, the columns we're going to use them as headers. So TH is for header, so it formats them with a darker font. It also, I believe, it centers them as well. So this could be maybe the username, and it could have several things here. Maybe the password, word. This might be maybe first name, first, maybe last, maybe a role. And maybe the last one will be empty. So let's see if we can hit that. Where is that being deployed? Here, right? Yeah. So this is user admin. So there's our user admin. It almost looks like a table. We can change a little bit the look and feel here. We can say that the border is 1 pixel wide. So at least we know that there's something there. We can have a couple rows here down below. We can have where you have some table data that you can display some dummy data. So we can have maybe Alice. Maybe this is a password. You don't display that. Maybe then you have first name Alice in Wonderland. Maybe you have an email, and maybe the email is alice@wonderland. And then maybe the last column, let's see what that renders. Notice the last one, we don't have a role. So the role, it might be that Alice is a faculty. And at the last one, we might have some action buttons or something. Maybe buttons to do some maybe like delete or remove that particular user, or maybe another button that allows them to edit. So we have maybe an edit. Okay, maybe with icons, it might be better. And you might have multiple of these. In addition, probably in our first row, we might also add another row. Right, 2 rows in the header. So they're meant to be not data, but the first one as a header, where you have the titles of the headers. But the second one maybe as input fields, right? You can have, or where you can search, where you can create new things, where you can manipulate an individual record, right? So this might be an input field for the username, maybe another for the password, first name, last name, email. Maybe for the let's see, what do we have? All right, so those are all input fields. Plus for the role, maybe you have a drop down. So for the, let's see, we have the email. So for the role would be like right under here. This might be a select, and you have maybe different options. Each option might be whether you're faculty, or that you are a student. Remember, we're building an online online course tool, right? There it is. So there's a faculty there. So notice that this text here is for human consumption. This is what the human reads. This is what they see. You might even display some blurb about describing what it is, right? And it'll be displayed there. Again, as for human value. But the data that actually goes out to the server, right? Maybe you don't want to submit this entire text, which is for human. Instead, you might want to send a piece of value, right, that might make more sense to an actual computer or a program. So you might use a very faulty faculty, a faculty here, and maybe value here as a student. And this might be a token in an enumerated data type somewhere on the server. Okay, so it means something to the server, right? It doesn't really mean anything here in the client. So this is what the user sees, and this. But if you don't provide a value, this is what gets sent to the server, right? And it might not be what you want, right? And maybe it is. All right, so we have the select, and at the last piece, we might have a couple buttons here that might be useful for creating or updating or manipulating existing records. So instead of delete or edit, this might be maybe update or create. Right, this allows you, if you type a brand new user, right, with a password and whatnot, if you create an update, I'm sorry, then you can click on create and it creates that brand new user. Or if you click on edit, it populates the form and then you can update values about them and then do an update on them. All right, make sense? Okay. Let's see, you have this kind of weird thing that you don't have anything there. So this one is this one right here. If you don't have actual content, it's usually a good idea to just put in like a non-breaking space entity there. It doesn't really do anything. It's a non-breaking space. What else? All right. So when we come back, we'll tie this to JavaScript or jQuery, right, and send some of this data over to a server and insert it into a database. All right. All right. Thank you.